Hey, today we're going to be looking at lesson 3.09, convert to slope-intercept form or converting to slope-intercept form. The purpose of this lesson is because sometimes you will get an equation in what is called standard form. So standard form. And standard form is in the format of ax plus by equals c. Well, standard form and slope-intercept are not the same formula, but they're actually just rearranged versions of each other. So when you're asked to graph the slope-intercept of the equation of each line, and you're given in standard form, before you graph, you actually have to change this equation around a bit, which is what we're going to be looking at in number 1. So in number 1, they want us to graph 3x minus y equals 3. Well, in order to do that, I need to change it into y equals mx plus b. There's two ways to do this. I'm going to show you both ways, and you can choose which way you like. So the first way is to rearrange this by moving the x to the left-hand side, right-hand side. So we move it from the left-hand side over to the right, and we can write it as negative 3x plus 3. But remember, our y can't be negative, so we just divide or multiply everything by a negative 1. So our equation is 3x minus 3. And we can go ahead and graph that. Our y-intercept is negative 3. Our rise is 1, 2, 3 over 1. And we can graph that from there. The second way to do this Well, I apologize. No second way. This is the way that we should solve this. You want to get it into slope-intercept form and then graph it from there. All right. Short and sweet, but we've only got 4 problems, so let's go ahead and look at number 2. In number 2, you'll notice this is also in standard form, and remember, we want to get it into the form of y equals mx plus b. So we're going to change this. We need this x to be on the other side. So x minus 6y equals negative 12. Since this is a positive x, I can move it over by subtracting. So negative 6y equals negative x minus 12. I cannot have this negative 6 out front, so I divide both sides by negative 6. So y equals negative divided by negative is a positive 1/6x. Negative 12 divided by negative 6 is positive 2. So my intercept is at positive 2, and I'm going up 1. My rise is 1. My run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I can graph my line. And there we have it. So again, the very first thing that you want to do is change this equation so that your formatting is the same. So only the y is on the left, the x is on the right, and then if there's something in front of that variable that's not, meaning that y is not isolated, that's when you're going to have to either multiply and divide both sides. All right, so looking at number 3, 4x plus y equals 5. This still not in y equals mx plus b form. So what we're going to do is we are going to rewrite this in y equals mx plus b. We have to move this 4x over. It's a positive 4x, so I'm going to subtract it from both sides. And the reason I can't combine 5 and negative 4x is because they're not like terms. That's a mistake that I see frequently, is combining those, and we can't combine those because they're not like terms. We have an x here, and there's no x on that 5. Last part is to graph. Our y-intercept is a positive 5, but the slope is telling me down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And then, as always, we want to graph our line between those points, and voila, we're down to one more. Here we go. So this is 3x plus 2y equals 4. Again, not in our format of y equals mx plus b. And we know that it's easiest to graph in y equals mx plus b. So all we're going to do, move this 3x over to the other side. And remember, I can't combine 3x and 4 or negative 3x and 4 because they're not like terms. And then the last one you'll notice, I didn't have to divide or multiply by anything because the y was by itself. It was isolated. However, in this one, there's a 2 in front, so it's 2 times y, which means I need to divide everything by 2. So y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4 over 2. And you always want to look if something will simplify. Well, 3 over 2 doesn't simplify, but 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then, yay, we can finally graph. My intercept is at 2, and I'm going down 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. And there we have it. Okay. This was converting to slope-intercept form 3.09. I hope that this answer key helped you with your practice. If you have other questions, let me know. Thank you. Bye.